All right, here we go again. Hello, everybody. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson with an update. Some of you sharing some videos of activity across the region, including some spin-ups. Well, what look like gustnadoes to me. These are not supercell type tornadoes, but a couple of spin-ups going on and a gusty thunderstorm working its way into Norman County, and now a new warning for southern parts of Polk County as well as Monoman County. Here's the latest in this version of Hutch's weather. First and foremost, there's the brand new warning that was just issued as we started this stream right here. Thanks for joining me. Also, I have heard tell that the Ribfest activities are on hold for now for the evening. That's things like the bouncy houses and things like that, and likely will resume once the threat of weather makes its way through. And this lion, as you see here, now making its way through the FM area right now. Let's get to the analysis of what's going on, and I'll show you the video, but we'll start with a look at that video. You can see a severe thunderstorm is working its way through with 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts through the Ada area right now, pushing into Gary and Fertile. Now, this area right here, we do have a couple of lightning strikes. It's not overly impressive on the radar screen right here. The new warning is in effect for areas like Gary, Bijou, Monoman until we get to the 7 o'clock time frame. The main threat, gusty 60-mile-per-hour winds. But I do want to point out that there has been a little bit of weak shear spin of some of these storms, and that's showing up right here as it's making its way towards Gary and another little area here. Along a windy thunderstorm, sometimes that wind can be faster in one area than another, so you get a little bit of a spin to that outflow, and that can cause something called a gustnado, and that might be what happened here a bit ago. And again, that doesn't mean a tornado is going to be likely, and it's not going to be something that's going to be long-lived if one does happen, but we do have some gusty winds with the potential to reach that 60-mile-per-hour threshold moving through Fertile now and heading into Gary here in the next couple of minutes as it works its way off to the east. And some of these storms are up near the Thief River area as well with some dust that was kicked up, and I saw a video shared with me on my Facebook page as well from the storms when they made their way through that area. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the normal radar view, and then I'll get you to that video. I'm going to loop this radar view here too so we could see over the last couple of hours here what's been going on. So this will load up momentarily, and this is what looks like a solid line of thunderstorm activity working its way through. In essence, what you're looking at here is a composite of all layers or slices through the atmosphere measured by the radar. So it looks really big and nasty, but not everybody's going to get the big and nasty or heaviest of the activity making its way through. Let's get to the hutchesweather.com photo upload section right now and show you what it is I'm talking about. A couple of folks have been uploading some interesting looking scenes here. This one near Grandin and Hillsboro as the storm crossed the I-29 corridor. I want you to focus on the first few minutes or seconds of this little clip here, as you're going to see on the right side, a pretty distinct spin up with a lot of dust being kicked up by an outflow or a gust front from the storm. But also, we do have some lower clouds here that show a little bit of just ugliness to them and spinning. It doesn't mean those are funnel clouds, but there's certainly some wind exiting the storm. See right there, you can see that spinning clump of dirt that's kicked up along this boundary where there's a lot of dirt being kicked up, and it's not all rotating around one central point, so some of it is a gust front. This area here, huge surge of air, kicking up gust in that Hillsboro and Grandin area out there, kicking up dirt indeed, but again, along the leading edge of a thunderstorm working its way through. So some of these systems, I've seen multiple videos of this kind of activity, so keep that in mind. It doesn't mean that we're expecting tornadoes tonight, but it's just one of those things that if one of these gusts hits your area, that kind of wind can really cause some problems for you, at least momentarily. You saw that that did not last too long. Thanks again very much for your upload there. And again, as we take a look at the videos uploaded here, that's the Grandin one. Jesse, thank you so very much for uploading that. Allison sharing this from Grand Forks. And again, the clouds up top swirling. Then way down at the ground here, we see that little tiny evidence of dust sneaking its way across the surface of the earth right there toward the end of the video. Watch the ground, boom, zipping very quickly there. No evidence of a funnel cloud anywhere or in between. So that's it. About 20 minutes ago, we had roughly 50-mile-per-hour straight line winds north of Badger, heading northeast. Now it's rain at this point. Stacy, thank you for your report. So these storms are making their way right into you folks out in the area not far from Ada, and these storms are going to continue to work east. Now, what's going on in the FM area right now? I'll show you. The storms here are a little bit weaker, not as strong as what we're seeing making its way through and into Monoman County, through Norman County, and southern Polk County right now. In fact, those have had a measurement here outside of Hallstatt of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And that's just downwind of where we saw the spin up in the dirt. So that's moving through Ada, heading into the Gary area now. Fertile, it's heading in toward your area right now. And Monoman seeing that. So that's what's going on there. And as we look into the Fargo area, West Fargo seeing what looks like a lot of red moving in. I'm going to go right now to the single site radar display and show you that this is what the lowest level scan is showing. Not too impressive. There is a little backward C shape to it. So some gusty winds. Sherry, thank you for sharing stars here on Hutch's weather. So a little backward C shape to it. Certainly nothing that looks ominous at any stretch of the imagination. But some of these storms in places have produced gusts of wind over 50 and near 60 miles per hour. We do have the Milner area seeing a storm making its way towards Windmere right now. That will be near the Windmere area by 6:37, so about 10 minutes there. So we have the storms making their way through the FM area right now. Is that going to be the end of it? The main line of thunderstorms is here, pushing east through Ada towards Foston, Bemidji. Fergus Falls will be a little bit later before they work their way out there. And we're already seeing a decrease in the intensity of these storms from what we saw earlier. However, there is some hot air out here to the east, and there is some energy in the atmosphere out there that could cause a few of these storms to be still pardon me, potent as they work their way through. Look what's going on up here towards Winnipeg as we get down there into Roseau County, a nice heavier swath of rain. Now, let's take a look at what's going on behind the storm system for you Ribfest goers, because I think we're going to still have the activity commence this evening. It's certainly up to the folks there at the site and facility. But right now in Fargo, we're enjoying 70 degrees. We've cooled down a little bit. 79 Sisseton, 77 out here as we sneak out towards Detroit Lakes. Park Rapids, 73, and up there at the Waskish area, it's 79 degrees. Temperatures are in the mid-60s in the Devil's Lake Basin. But what about wind gusts right now? On the other side of the cold front, out here where things are cooler, we have a northwest wind that's gusting in, and we have 38-mile-per-hour gusts now. We have 38-mile-per-hour gusts measured right now. Heather says pea-size hail in the Spiritwood area was reported. Thank you so very much for passing that along. Pea-size hail in Spiritwood. I'm not sure what time that report is, but as we take a look at the wind gusts, the winds could be gusty this evening from the northwest as temperatures drop into the 60s. So if you are going back to Ribfest, make sure you have a jacket because it's going to have a little bit of a cooler feel to it. Look at the Thief River area here. 40-mile-per-hour gusts out at the airport there right now as these windy storms are working their way through. Out ahead of the storm system, we have warmer air out there with temperatures that are working their way up into the near 80-degree range for a few. Well, 75 for Brainerd, 84 in Montevideo right now. And as we look out towards Fergus Falls, what's the temperature there? Detroit Lakes and Fergus Falls both at 77, 79 at Wahpeton Breckenridge. So when the cold front makes its way into this warmer air, then there's going to be a little bit more energy. So yes, we could still have a risk for a few of these storms being strong. Take a look at this. These are dew point temperatures now. Dew points in the 40s and 50s, not very humid air. That's why some of these clouds are a little higher off of the ground. In fact, the dew points are higher on the backside of the system in places that have already gotten rain down to the ground that's adding moisture to the air. So look at the dew points out in the Twin Cities. We've also had some thunder showers in the area, 61 degrees, but by and large, the south winds feeding these thunderstorms that over us now, not having a ton of moist air to work with. And look at behind it, cold, cool, dry air. This is not the temperature. This is the dew point temperature. Dew points in the 30s is extremely dry this time. Mike's asking rain in Perham at what time? Let's get to that forecast real quickly here, and we'll take another look at the radar. So let's go ahead and let me open up this model here. Okay, so if you take a look at the storms now, as we approach the 6 to 7 time frame, they're moving through Fargo, and Perham being right over here looks to be in and around that. Well, there's 7, there's 8, like 8:30, about 8:30 for the Perham area. How long will the storm last in DL? It's a narrow band of thunderstorm activity. So if you start in DL right here and this is going to be at 8 o'clock. Well, probably closer to 7, the way it's looking now, 7:30. And then it lasts about an hour, and then it's on its way out. And there is a secondary band of light showers and gusty winds as well. These storms will continue to progress on out towards places like Bemidji as we cross into the 9 to 10 o'clock time frame. And then after that, let's say the 8 to 9 o'clock time frame. And then after that, it's going to race its way eastward into the arrowhead of Minnesota. Behind it, gusty northwest winds. So as you go through most of your Sunday, passing showers of rain, and we will have a chance to see some gusty winds throughout the day on a cooler Sunday in your forecast. So that's what's going on. I hope that helps answer your question there. Hi, Brandon. It's good to see you on board once again. Thanks so very much. Del Rey, good to have you on board as well. Let's see. What else do we got here? Pea-sized hail. Thanks for the update. Okay, I think I've gotten to most of the comments, and let me double check here that no more videos have been uploaded. I've asked for 3 or 4 of these videos to be loaded to hutchesweather.com. So if you didn't get that, I'm asking you now, if you have videos of spin-ups, here's one in the Thief River Falls area. And let me see here. I'm going to have to do something to this to kind of try to lower the volume on some of the commentary on some of these videos, because I do want to approve it, because what's going on here is awful interesting. These storms just kicking up a lot of dirt. They're dry thunderstorms, but they're also very windy thunderstorms, and there have been some spin-ups. So let me go here. That's been approved, but let me see what I need to do on this. So pardon me while I think. That's hard for Hutch on a Saturday after working in the yard all day, and I know you feel me. All right, let's go ahead. Go to photo uploads. Let's go here. I am going to make sure that the audio is off there. Let's see. Okay. All right, so here's what we're going to see. I'm just going to put a precaution on this particular video that there may be some choice language or whatnot as you're watching the video here. But, you know, when you see something like this, it might freak you out or make you a little bit nervous. Sarah, thank you for uploading your photo from the Thief River Falls area as the storms made their way through a little bit ago. I'm going to mute that. There we go. So what you're seeing here is just a bunch of dirt getting kicked up. It's not necessarily spinning really strong in that clockwise or counterclockwise direction, but certainly it is racing upward too. So gust fronts are when air works its way out of the thunderstorm cloud. It can pick up dirt and then kick it up toward the clouds. And along that gust front, like I said, some areas of the gust front can accelerate faster than others, causing a little bit of spin. And sometimes what I've seen here, BA, thank you for your support, and stars. Tina, thank you for joining me here. Hello, good to see you. Linda, thanks for joining from Bemidji as well. So again, another look at Sarah's video here from Thief River as the storms were working their way through. Look how high the cloud base is, way above this, but down on the ground, it's kicking up some serious winds out there, and it actually looks like it's causing a little bit of a spin up out there, as pointed out here. Sarah, thank you so very, very much for uploading your very interesting photo and video, I should say. Jesse capturing this Grandin to Hillsboro area here. As you take a look at that, there's no question there's some rotation and spin in that, but it's rising up. So an area of spin, maybe. It didn't last but a few seconds. Here is a gust front, though, that's definitely strong and kicking up some interesting dust. So some interesting views across the valley, and I appreciate all of you sharing them with me. Again, I want to ease your minds just a little bit. The risk of any tornadoes tonight is low. But if you happen to be out at Ribfest, for instance, and the system works its way through with some gusty downdraft like that, you're going to have some interesting weather to contend with. Now, speaking of, let's go right back to the radar here. As I take a look at the single site radar, it doesn't look all that potent on this particular radar view. But what you're going to see is, as we take a look now at the surface, Dilworth, Moorhead, this is the heaviest of the showers and thunderstorms over us now. The sky outside Hutch's basement here is pretty gray. So as we look outside Hutch's studios, that's what's going on. And we do have a little rumble of thunder that I'm hearing here as well. But essentially, the storm is moving through. We have wind gusts over 35 to 40 miles per hour in the system already. As we take a look at the shear in the storm here, let me go back to the storm relative version of this so we can kind of factor in the motion of the storm. Nothing here that's strong at all. Nothing that makes Hutch twitch or anything like that. But we do have motion toward the radar here, away from the radar here, that's not a big deal. So we don't have a lot of organized rotation with this line of windy thunderstorms working their way through. But as we take a look at those wind gusts right now from the National Weather Service, here they are. And this is what it looks like at Fargo. 38 mile per hour gusts, so near 40 mile per hour winds measured at the Fargo Hector. Those gusts have not reached Moorhead's Airport yet at 22 miles per hour. So those are the gust speeds we're seeing here. Gusts have made their way through Grand Forks, and it's quieting down there nicely now as well. It looks like there is a on that secondary band or the main cold front line here, we're seeing some gusts a little stronger. Let me click on Jamestown here. I do want to point out what the wind direction is out here. So your wind direction in Jamestown, let's see, wind is from 320 degrees or in the northwest. So the wind is from the northwest in Jamestown. The cold front is through that area. Valley City, the wind is from the northwest. The cold front is through the area. Fargo, our winds are from the northwest and becoming more northwesterly. So the cool front is passing through our area, and thunderstorms are causing that wind shift as well. But here we have southwest winds in Fergus Falls. So the front is working its way through. We're going to see a wind shift out there. These storms are gusty. We could see some isolated storms with a few gusts upwards of 60 miles per hour. If we take a look at the peak wind gusts for today, let me go ahead and pull up this. This is wind gusts now from the North Dakota Agricultural Weather Network. And I'll put me on top of here so you can see that the wind gusts here reported peak for the day at 20 mile per hour in Fargo, not a big deal. And across the region, we're not seeing a lot, but there was a wind gust right here a little bit earlier that was quite strong. So right now, wind gusts are at 11 miles per hour, but when we look at the peak gusts, we're seeing 59 miles per hour. So that's a severe wind gust out there in and around Trail County. As the storm crossed into Norman County through the Red River Valley. If you can see where I'm thinking of or pointing to or talking about, it's right here. We did have 50 mile per hour gusts up there in parts of northern Grand Forks County, Walsh County with nearly that as well. Maybe in the Thief River area, 36 mile per hour gusts was a peak that we've measured out at the airport there. How about this? Central parts up there near Cavalier, 50 mile per hour gusts reported there, and 51 not far from you folks in that Ellendale area. As well. So that's what's going on right now. Let's go ahead and get you back to this radar. I'll carry this storm through the FM area and then get you back to business because it will continue to be a little on the breezy side this evening for your Ribfest activities. Grab the coat. There could be another dash of splash with a little bit of rain on the backside of this system before it works its way through. I'm going to go back to the radar view and you can see. Now, severe thunderstorm warning for the storm that's now moving out of Fertile and heading towards Foston, moving into the eastern reaches of Norman County. What are things looking like for Perham? Perham is way over here. The storms are going to be another hour and a half or so before they get there. They're moving at about 35 miles per hour, and it does look like a chance for some windy thunderstorms in your area. The strongest cluster of storms right now is here. These are looking to be quite strong as well. But Fargo, we have some heavy thunderstorm activity over our area. But look at this. The strongest is up near Fertile and points south. These storms here have had a history of producing nearly 60 mile per hour wind gusts. Moving through Gary right now, it's on its way towards Winger and Bijou as we approach the 7 o'clock time frame. Just prepare. See this little backwards C shape that we're seeing here? That would indicate gusty winds to Hutch from the west. So tie down the lawn furniture there. Ariana, thank you. What are things looking like for Perham? We've answered that question. Linda, thank you for watching from Bemidji. It'll be a little while before you have any concerns at all to worry about with this system, but it is heading your way. And that's not a bad thing because we can all use a little bit of the rain. Foreman, you have some increased lightning can often be associated with increased thunderstorm activity. So as we take a look at radar estimates of the cloud tops, as thunderstorms grow taller, they have more energy. They make more lightning and sometimes have a better chance at making hail when they got updrafts that are really reaching up into the upper atmosphere. So these yellow colors that you see here indicate to Hutch that we do have some cloud tops. They're only 35 to 40,000 feet. That's not really tall for thunderstorms. Why? The air here near the surface is pretty dry. We only have dew points around 45 to 50 degrees. That secondary batch of showers making its way towards us, not thick or tall clouds at all. So the risk of severe is only along this leading edge. Behind it, gusty northwest winds, falling temperatures, maybe a spit of rain, and then that'll be it. It'll be gone, as they used to say on Hee Haw. If you remember Hee Haw. I don't want to date myself. Let's go back to the radar here. Here's a look. Okay, so here's a look at the radar right now. As we take a look, we do have strong storms pushing into the Richland County area right now. If you are in the Wyndmere area, it's right on your doorstep. These storms are all moving east. They're moving at a clip of about 35 miles per hour. Let me go ahead and pull up the latest Weather Service analysis on that. 33 miles per hour. My apologies. Moving east at 33 miles per hour. And essentially, you can expect some areas to get gusts as high as 50 miles per hour. When I look at the velocity here, I'm focusing on this area. I'm going to pull up the radar out here from Aberdeen. It is just a pinch closer than the Mayville radar is to this particular storm. We're not seeing anything in the way of suspect rotation here along the line. As we take a look from the Aberdeen radar, what's going on here? A whole lot of not exciting as far as spin goes. So I'm not too worried about tornadoes from these particular storms, as we've been saying. Again, gusty straight line winds to 50. A few areas could see some hail. That hail could be upwards of, it says here, no hail. So no real hail threat with that. As we look down into South Dakota, Aberdeen and the Sisseton Hills area, we could see 1/4-inch diameter hail, so some pea-size hail from a few of these storms, and maybe some gusts upwards of 50 miles per hour. So the main threat right now is from this windy thunderstorm pushing its way through. We have a very sharp line showing up here on the velocity display, and that is the outflow from the thunderstorm pushing into Mahnomen. So again, what I like to say is we may see some of you guys get that gust or burp of wind out of the storm first before the rain really even gets to you. You might see a low cloud called a roll cloud leading at the edge. That's making its way into the Mahnomen area now. There's the leading edge of the thunderstorm. Quite a bit of lightning, but nothing out of the ordinary. The main problem with this storm is that wind gust potential. Because this is right outside of Mayville, I'm going to look at straight radial velocities and look at what the radar is seeing up at cloud level. Where we see these brighter colors here in pinks, we're getting wind gust potential and whatnot of about 45 to 55 miles per hour still. The winds will be moving from west to east with this storm, and we see this bulge here, that bowing segment moving into Bijou, Winger, and Mahnomen here shortly. Gary, it's probably pretty windy over you, as well as areas fertile and points south. Wind speeds over Beltrami probably quieting down, and still some pretty strong winds between Ada and Gary, estimated by the radar at this particular time. So we'll clear that off. That's what's going on right now. If you are in Fargo, we've got a few more minutes of thunderstorm activity that's going to be working its way through here. And then behind it, another little squirt out of the atmosphere here. And then it looks like just breezy and cooling conditions as we work our way through the evening. So main line making its way through the FM area now. Rumbles of thunder. The risk of severe will continue into the evening, but it's a low risk, and that's what I anticipate will continue to happen. There's some hotter air out here near Fergus Falls, but the problem is the air is still pretty dry, so I don't expect there to be a real rampant increase in energy from these storms as we go into the later evening hours, but yet a couple of them may produce some gusty winds. I'll keep my eyes on things right here. And remember, you can do the same by heading over to hutchesweather.com. We're going to do that together right now real quickly here while I've got you. Number one, on the interactive radar, you may see some changes on it. You can use your mouse buttons on there and basically take and tilt the map. So if you use both mouse buttons and click them down, you can tilt and turn the map and get yourself all confizzled about where you are. Okay, so now I've got that thing sideways. You see that? Okay, but you can pull back and forward and tilt the map. Look at it in 3D. You can see the storms moving through Wahpeton, Breckenridge as we go into the future here. Is expected to see those storms pushing in as we go into the 7 o'clock time frame based on this particular forecast model. In the lower left-hand corner, you can see the timing. So it's the real radar up to this point, and then the last few frames are a short-term model guess at what where the storms will be moving in the next few minutes. So that's what's going on here with the radar. You can go ahead and peruse that. My latest video will be on here for you. And if you do have any reports of weather, neato things that you've seen from these storms, upload your photos and or videos as you saw a little bit earlier here to Hutch's Weather. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Stay tuned to me here. I'll keep you up to date with the storms as they continue to work their way through the region. Grand Forks, another sprinkle working its way into your area right now. And then you're done with the sprinkles for this evening. Tomorrow, passing showers are in the forecast, but no more severe weather. It does look like the Southern Valley and in towards Lakes Country can expect to see some showers and thunderstorms shortly. I'll keep you updated. You're watching Hutch's Weather. Appreciate each and every one of you. Have a wonderful evening. And as always,